And I now want to welcome to the stage the Director General of the BBC since 2004, a period over which its digital offering has been transformed and which at present is beaming the Olympics into our living rooms, offices and public spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Thompson.
So the other day I got an email from Lord Alan Sugar, who the Brits in the room will know is both a notable entrepreneur with a specialism in technology and also the presenter of the UK version of The Apprentice. Now, normally getting an email from Alan's a pretty daunting prospect. He tends to pick out individual words in red, as in, you promised me, Mark, that you would ensure The Apprentice got enough trails. On this occasion, though, slightly different message. Alan said to me, I've just seen an advertisement by Sky for the BBC on ITV. What the hell is going on? Well, the Olympic Games are going on, Alan. But two other things are going on. Firstly, innovation in what you might call broadcast and content creativity. But we're also seeing, I think, a period of amazing innovation in the technologies that go with content and broadcast. And crucially, one of the points I want to make, I think we're seeing here in this country content creativity and technology creativity coming together. I think we saw it at that astonishing opening ceremony a week ago today. I think we can see it in the BBC's coverage. The BBC wants to deliver the highest quality coverage of the Olympic Games of any broadcaster in the world, anywhere, journalism, picture quality, sound quality, analysis. But we also want to have the greatest innovation of any broadcaster in the world, and we want to bring those two things together. But I believe it's a great opportunity for this country. I think that we have very, very deep wells of creativity in content. I think, and our previous speakers have made this point already, we have it in technologies as well. And I think culturally we have a chance to put those two things together. And the other thing that's going on, and this is, I guess, the point about the ad, is partnership. This is a period where in broadcasting through the games, the broadcasters are getting together. But more broadly, I think we're seeing in my world more and more advances where different players are coming together to achieve what we all want to do. The Olympics have always been, in broadcasting, a moment for leaps forward in what we can do. Ian mentioned the 1948 Games. The BBC and EMI collaborated to create, essentially, the first really lightweight outside broadcast cameras, and we did a pretty full television coverage of the 48 Games. By the 1960s, you're seeing colour, you're seeing the beginnings of a high definition arriving, and really from Athens onwards, the whole idea of how you can use the web in particular to deliver pictures and much, much more choice to sports fans, both here and around the world, has been the order of the day. But we've never seen anything quite like London 2012. And I thought I'd briefly show you and hand you over to my colleague, Gary Lineker, for just a flavour of how the BBC is trying to bring London 2012 to its audiences in the UK.
This is an Olympics like no other, and we want to make sure you get the most out of this once-in-a-lifetime event. So we've created a live, interactive video player that allows you to watch every moment of the Games. So here's how it works. Imagine you're watching the 5,000 metres live, and you decide you want to see the triple jump that was on earlier. All you do is click, and you instantly rewind back to the moment you want to watch. Once you've caught up, jump back to the here and now by clicking on Live. You're straight back into the action. And at any time, go full screen, and the player delivers the action in HD. Then there's the Extras button. Click on this, and you'll find lots of great information. If you're watching the track cycling and are wondering what the different events are, the Sport Guide will tell you. Then there's Olympics Live. Turn it on, and it will alert you to all the key moments from around the game so you never miss anything that matters. And with the athletes panel, if you're watching the rowing and want in-depth info about one of the rowers, then this feature is here to help. Now, there'll be times when up to 24 live events are taking place all at once, so we've arranged everything to make it easy for you to find the best of the action. In short, with the BBC's new live interactive video player, we're giving you complete control of what you want to watch and when you want to watch it. Go to bbc.co.uk/sport to never miss a moment of the Olympic Games on the BBC.
OK, now what's interesting about that is, of course, there's underlying technology required for that, but there's many, many other skills involved in that. The user interface and the marketing skills which go to packaging it up and making it, above all, something which is very easy and simple to use. And what we're finding is that very large numbers of people are using it. The Olympics is still a massive, conventional, linear television experience. Many people quite understandably want to get in front of a TV and watch it as it happens. There was a big swimming race, Rebecca Adlington amongst others, taking part on Monday. About 10 million people watching it in the conventional way. Well over 500,000 people watching it simultaneously on one of those streams. And we're seeing, I think, more take-up of these interactive technologies in these days that we're living through right now than we've ever seen before. But I want to say that the other important thing about this kind of technology is the way that we are trying to partner together with all of the other players to get it to customers. That means Sky and Virgin for those 24 streams. It means BT. It means many, many other players. And that's only part of a network of partnerships that we've been involved in during the Olympic Games. Another example would be our partnership with NHK. We're bringing, in addition to 3D, we're also super high vision, an astonishing new technology which we're working with NHK to deliver both to theatres here in the UK and also in the United States and Japan. Or our partnership with Arts Council England to create The Space, which is a new web resource which literally hundreds of artists and creative organisations are using to get their content to the public. For example, BBC teams helped The Space capture the Globe to Globe event as part of Festival 2012, in which the Globe Theatre in London invited theatre groups from around the world to deliver each of Shakespeare's 38 plays. Each of these plays, all 38, are available on The Space in full video and sound. So the Olympics is potentially both in a mobile environment, a TV, a radio, a web, a tablet environment, an astonishing showcase for what's happening to broadcasting. But it's part of a bigger story where, again, the business of packaging technology effectively with content and partnering seems to us to be the way forward. About 4.5 years ago, the BBC launched a service called iPlayer, which enables people to catch up on any TV or radio from the previous week that they've missed on the BBC. 2 points about iPlayer. Firstly, we decided from the start it should be available on all devices. It was not conceived as a PC application. It was conceived as something which all digital devices, connected devices, should be able to show. It's currently on many hundreds of such devices. And secondly, it should be complete. If we were offering a catch-up service, it should be an ability to catch up on everything. And as a result of that, this service is available in the UK only, 26 million households in the UK, nearly 2 billion streams last year of this service. But iPlayer is important in other ways. iPlayer's opened up on-demand television in this country. People's expectation of getting TV and radio when they want it has helped ITV, it's helped Channel 4, it's helped Sky, it's helped Virgin, it's helped BT. And it's begun to create an expectation which builds markets and jobs. As we think about iPlayer going forward, we believe, and others do as well, that the next logical step was to work with partners to create a simple standard for catch-up and other on-demand services which everyone could use. And in recent days, we've launched with a whole set of partners, all of the public broadcasters and some key internet service providers, BT and TalkTalk, a service and a standard called YouView, which again is the simple standard which will enable the public to buy or to acquire a box and to get a whole range of internet-powered television services. Again, though, with user experience, simplicity and clarity at its heart. And more broadly, what we've tried to do in the BBC is a public organisation. It's paid for by the British public through a licence fee. But we have a tradition going back decades of research and development, of creating technologies and standards, and crucially, sharing them with the rest of the industry. We've recently opened a new digital broadcast and production centre in Salford. Some of the biggest content areas of the BBC, including BBC Sport, our children's department, some of our key services, Radio 5 Live. We have many factual and entertainment programme makers there as well. So it's a classic palace, if you like, of BBC content creativity. But we moved our research and development department there as well. We're working incredibly closely with the University of Salford and Manchester and a cluster of other northern universities, with schools and academies. We've got an enormous apprentice scheme. And wherever we can, we're trying to bring the content people, the journalists, the storytellers, the comedy writers, together with people who are creating the technologies of tomorrow. And what's interesting about Salford is, very quickly, ITV, the UK's biggest free-to-air commercial broadcaster, decided to join us on the site. We have many independent producers. We have some games companies arriving. And the hope is to use, if you like, the down payment, the investment capital of the licence fee in the BBC to create a centre of creativity, which is bringing content creativity and technology creativity together. We recently announced, jointly with the IOC, that the BBC's won the right to show the next two cycles of the Olympic Games, the Winter Games in 2014, the Summer Games in 2016, and the next two games, so that there will be Olympic action on the BBC into the 2020s. Now, I absolutely believe that by 2020 you will see and continues to see the BBC as a broadcaster which can deliver not just heights of content excellence, but also a BBC which is still itself driving technology innovation and is still pushing the envelope of what broadcasting can be. But I also hope it'll be a BBC which is a really strong partner to the rest of the industry. And more broadly, I hope that over this next decade, we're going to see the extraordinary opportunities and the extraordinary talent we've got in technology coming together with the creative industries to create amazing new businesses and amazing new experiences for viewers both here and around the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark, and thank you to all our speakers for the first part of this session. The Chancellor, Ian Livingstone, Herman Hauser and Mark Thompson, and I think they both presented to us just how much fantastic innovation is going on in the UK in the ICT sector and how good an environment it is for all of them. So if you could all again put your hands together to appreciate our four first speakers.